So then SPCA, number 8 is what, I forgot to bring that paper over. Number 8 is what the the son of Tsar Nicholas, Tsar Nicholas of Russia and Alexander, this is the one that he lacked. He lacked this. It actually all started with his grandmother. She was a carrier, and his mother was a carrier. Of course, a boy is XY, and so this is a sex link. Sex link usually means on the X chromosome. So since a boy has X and a Y, and a female has XX, then he had XH. He had XH. So he's a bleeder. He didn't have a chance. Now, if you were XHX, you would be a carrier, but you wouldn't show symptoms, but you could pass that on. You follow me? So this is the anti-hemophiliac factor produced by endothelial cells, the AHF. So there's that one. And then number 9 is one called the Christmas factor. That is due to it's also produced by the liver. And you don't need to remember where all these things, ones you should remember where they're produced is fibrinogen and prothrombin for sure. Remember for sure that fibrinogen and prothrombin, I'm not going to ask you to memorize where all these things are produced. You'd forget that. But like, for example, you run into these alcoholics. I mean, somebody who has cirrhosis of the liver, and they're really, you know, in addition to being rum dumb, hepatic encephalopathy, in addition to that, something they have no clue about, is they're going to have trouble with bleeding. I mean, with a screwed up liver, I mean, if they bleed more, because where hepatocyte cells have been produced to scar tissue, then their levels of prothrombin, not only fibrinogen and prothrombin will be lower, and so that's going to affect their blood clotting capabilities. And so if they don't figure that, they don't have a clue about that, do they? They don't have a clue about that most of the time. All right, but anyway, the Christmas factor is produced by, and number 10 is one just called thrombokinase. It's called the Stewart factor. And number 11 is the plasma thromboplastin. It's produced by the liver again. And I'm going to repeat these now. That's the Hagman or contact. We'll talk about that in a minute. Hagman. And the last one is the fibrin stabilizing factor. That's going to be number 13 is the fibrin. It's a plasma protein. And I'm not going to ask you to memorize where all these things are produced. You don't need to do that. But I'll tell you one thing. It's blood clotting mechanism. I had a guy one time, he'd been in the Army, and he had been, it was during the Desert Storm thing, and he'd been a medic, and he'd got some training, and he was taking 24-2, and he came up to me after the conference, you know, they made us learn the very same thing, man. They made us learn that very same thing in the Army. We had to learn that. All this blood clotting factors. So, you know, he said, yeah, we had to know all about that. Prothrombin time, prothrombin, fibrinogen. I mean, somebody comes in been shot or wounded. Yeah, we had to know the blood clotting mechanism. They made it had it in our little class we had on this. Yeah, so I had a test over this one time, and wherever he was, not in the U.S. of A, but wherever he was. All right, so how do these things go? Number 1 is prothrombin. Number 2 is number 1 is fibrinogen. Number 2 is prothrombin. Number 3 is thromboplastin. That's going to be tissue thromboplastin. Number 4 is calcium. Number 5 is proaccelerant. Number 6 is the same as number 5. Number 7 is serum prothrombin conversion accelerator. That's number 7. Number 8 is AHF, anti-hemophiliac. Number 9 is the Christmas. Number 10 is the Stewart, which translates to a thrombokinase, which, you know, just number 10. All right, number 11 is a plasma thromboplastin. And number 12 is Hagman or contact. Number 13 is fibrin stabilizing factor. You know, if this, see, what happens here, we're going to learn in a minute. For blood to clot, this, then fibrinogen, F-I-B-R-I-N-O-G-E-N, fibrinogen, and this fibrinogen and thrombin, along with calcium again, is produced to fibrin. Now, fibrin is the blood clot. Then number 13 comes along. X was 1, 1, 1 like that. That's the and just kind of stabilizes this fibrin. It's called the fibrin stabilizing factor. And so there's blood clotting. Okay, so there they are.